Hello beta, welcome back to the channel. So beta, in the previous video we have already studied that proteins are polypeptides and it is a polymer of amino acids. Only there are 20 types of amino acids are there. So as a result, protein is always heteropolymer. It can never be homopolymer. Is it clear? Now, what are the important proteins and functions? Let us see what some proteins and their functions. If you see, the most important, try to understand, most abundant protein of animal world, collagen, which is triple helix. Please remember, collagen is triple helix. It is making an intracellular ground substance. So most first important function is making a ground substance of collagen, which I'm discussing it, and it's the most abundant protein of the animal world. Second, if you have studied in the digestion chapter, trypsin is working as an enzyme, and insulin is a hormone which is secreted by the pancreas. So see beta, protein carries out different functions. Some are actually working as hormones. For example, insulin. Some are working as an enzyme like trypsin. And right now, if you know, you people are aware about it, whenever the person has infection, the body makes antibodies. So antibodies are also protein only to fight against the infection. So sometimes protein helps to fight the infections like antibodies. Some proteins are working as receptor. Receptors are required for the hormones. We'll be studying in the endocrine chapter, beta. Receptors are required there. For sensory also, for the smell and taste, the few proteins are working as a receptors. Okay, transport nutrients also they are working. So for example, transport nutrient across cell membrane, example is GLUT4. This is the one which is helping in the facilitated diffusion of glucose. This is making a channel because glucose is hydrophilic, so it cannot pass through the cell membrane. So facilitated diffusion is done with the help of this protein, GLUT4. Again, this is very important PMT question. They ask it beta. It enables glucose transport into the cell. They can change it. They can write it fructose. Okay, then you have to please check carefully. Sometimes they can change it here from GLUT4 to GLUT3, GLUT2, they can make it. So I think so this much protein functions are clear. And collagen is the most abundant protein of the animal world. I told you it is making a intracellular ground substance, means present in the connective tissue matrix. And ribosco, ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, is the most abundant protein of the biosphere. Because if you know, majority fixation of the carbon dioxide will be done by the plants, higher plants, and higher plants are having ribosco for doing the carbon dioxide fixation. So I hope so protein, which is polymer of amino acids, and the functions are clear. Now let us study the structure of proteins. So beta, we have already studied that proteins are heteropolymers and they contain amino acids. Okay, now according to the biologist, when we study the protein structure, we study it at 4 levels. Number 1 is primary structure. Then we will be studying secondary structure, tertiary structure, and quaternary structure. Now, what is primary structure? Primary structure will give you the idea of the sequence of amino acid. The sequence of amino acid means which is the first, which is second, what is the position of the glutamic acid in the sickle cell anemia, is it present or not? So that sequence of amino acid means positional, which position is first or second in the protein, which is first amino acid and which is so on, it is given by the primary structure will tell us. So according to the biologist, when we study the structure of protein, we study it at 4 levels. The first level, primary structure, will give you only positional information of the amino acid. Just imagine like a protein as a line. If you remember in the last video, we have studied how to make the peptide bond. So every time I was drawing the NH2 group on the left side. Is it clear? So left end means the first amino acid and right end means last amino acid. So let me draw, suppose this is your first amino acid, second amino acid, third, fourth, fifth. So this is your first amino acid. This is first, which is on the left side. Clear, beta? And this is the last amino acid, which is on the right side. And when we were making the peptide bond, obviously COH every time will come here and NH2 will be left here. If you want, you can imagine it this way. Let me show you, beta. If suppose I draw this amino acid this way, NH2, and this is H and this is R1, okay? Then again, second amino acid I'm drawing it. R2, third amino acid, R3, and fourth amino acid. I'm just drawing tetrapeptide right now. I have to do the condensation reaction, beta. I'll remove the water molecule. Water molecule is removed. Clear? So I have made how many peptide bond? 1, 2, and 3 peptide bond after removing the water molecule. And if you see this is my first amino acid. This was my first amino acid. And this was my last amino acid. Which side is this? This is my left side. When I'm writing, it is coming to my left side and this is coming to my right side. If you see carefully the diagram, on the first amino acid, this group is not used. NH2 is not used. And this side, if you see, this carboxylic group is not used. Analyze the diagram carefully. So this first end, means left end, is known as N-terminal. It is known as N-terminal. And this is known as C-terminal. Clear, beta? This is known as C-terminal. So this is just imagine as a primary structure as a straight line when many amino acids are joined. Here in the diagram, I've taken only 4 amino acids, means I prepared tetrapeptide with the 3 peptide bond, but 4 amino acids, left end, N-terminal, right end, C-terminal. Is it clear, beta? So left end means first amino acid and the right end means last amino acid. The first amino acid is also called N-terminal amino acid and the last amino acid is also called C-terminal amino acid. Up till here, clear, beta? Now, if you see, this is your peptide bond is made. This is C-double-O, focus, beta, C-double-O. This is NH. Okay, so this is peptide bond. I hope you are able to understand the diagram better. Now, after this, they will go for the secondary structure. When they go for a secondary structure, they can make either helix or they can make in the form of a beta-plated sheets. So some portion of the protein is forming helix and some portion will be in the form of a beta-plated, in the form of a helix. Which type of helix? They are having only right-handed helixes observed. Okay, and some might be folded in another beta-plated, and this is known as secondary structure of protein. The secondary structure of protein, 2 types are there. One is alpha helix, one is beta-plated sheets. Now see, beta, try to understand. This is alpha helix structure. See, I'm highlighting it. This is alpha helix structure. Okay, and see here, this is beta-plated structure. So they are stabilized with the help of hydrogen bond. See, this is hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond will be made. So alpha helix is stabilized by the hydrogen bond. You are able to find even the hydrophobic interactions also. See here, this is your hydrophobic interaction. And you are finding the disulfide bridge also. Okay, so alpha helix and beta plated, especially if you see within the helix and beta plated, you are finding hydrogen bond. Secondary structure is much more stabilized with the help of hydrogen bonds. Is it clear? Now for the tertiary structure, When a long protein chain is folded upon itself like a hollow woolen ball, then it gives rise to the tertiary structure. It gives a 3D view of a protein, and this structure is necessary for many biological activities of proteins. Means generally you can say the enzymes which are proteinaceous in nature, they are able to perform only in the tertiary structure. And if you see, this is the diagram from the NCERT tertiary structure. When it is folded upon itself further, and here if you see, hydrogen bond is shown, and they have shown the disulfide bond also. Now let me show you another diagram. Now see beta, see the diagram carefully. In this you are able to find hydrogen bond. Check beta. Hydrogen bond will be made with the OH and O. I think so you know this much. Will be the electronegative oxygen and electropositive hydrogen. You will be finding hydrogen bond. Then you are finding hydrophobic interaction between the non-polar molecules when they are exposed to the aqueous environment. Van der Waals interaction also you will find it. You are able to find the disulfide bridges when the sulfur is present. The disulfide bridges will be there, and you are able to find the ionic bonds. So these are the additional bonds which are present in the tertiary structure apart from the peptide bond which is already present in the primary structure. Is it clear? The primary structure has only peptide bond. Secondary structure is having hydrogen bond. Peptide is already there. Backbone is polypeptide now. This is backbone is polypeptide. Okay. Secondary is stabilized by hydrogen bond. In tertiary, you are finding, along with the hydrogen bond, you are finding ionic bond, you are finding disulfide bridges, you are finding the hydrophobic interactions and van der Waals interactions. So these are the different types of bonds which are helping to stabilize the protein to achieve a tertiary structure. And when you give a high temperature, this bond breaks. That is why the shape of the protein changes, and we say enzymes denatured at high temperature. Because right now I told you tertiary structure behave as an enzyme. Generally the enzymes which are proteinaceous in nature, they are tertiary structure, and when they are having all these types of bonds to maintain a particular shape, and if suppose you are giving high temperature or you are changing the pH, then these bonds will be broken, means the bonds will be affected. As a result, shape will be altered, and when the shape is altered, your enzymes, we say, denatured. A protein is denatured. And see, some proteins are an assembly of more than one polypeptide. Till now, we were using only one polypeptide, but some protein are made with the more than one polypeptide. And the manner in which these individual folded polypeptides are arranged with respect to each other, okay, you will find that they are able to reach a next level of the structure of protein that is known as quaternary structure. They are able to achieve the quaternary structure of protein. If you see hemoglobin, adult hemoglobin, why we are focusing adult? Because fetal hemoglobin has different subunits. So we are focusing adult hemoglobin consists of 4 subunits. 2 of these are identical to each other. So 2 subunits are of alpha type and another 2 subunits are of beta type. And they make adult human hemoglobin, which is represented by symbol HB. So in this video, we tried to discuss protein, which is a polymer of amino acids. It is heteropolymer. We try to focus that protein perform different functions, working as an enzyme, working as an hormone also, making a ground substance, helping to transport, and working as receptor. Then we studied level of the protein, structural level of protein, primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. So all the points, each and every line of NCERT, I tried my level best to explain you properly. I hope so this videos will help you to understand the concept properly. Thanks for watching, Gita. Thanks.